fellow friends around the world. My name is KAZU. I welcome you all to come and visit my page. And I hope you enjoy all my posts, pictures, and video clips. I want to use this wonderful opportunity to say thank you all who have been leaving your wonderful comments, messages, and gifts. And I hope I will hear from you again. I also want to say thank you for choosing to view this video clip.
I'm David Krieger, and I'm the president of the Nuclear Age Peace Foundation. The kind of world I'd like to see in the year 2100 is a world in which international institutions have grown to the point that they can preserve the peace, and a world in which all weapons of mass destruction have been initially placed under international control leading up to that point, and by 2100 have been eliminated from the earth. And a world in which there are institutions functioning like an international criminal court that would hold individuals accountable, like a much strengthened international court of justice in which states wouldn't have the option to opt out of being part of that. I think by 2100 states will be withering away somewhat, and in their place there will be the actual functioning institutions like a parliament for the world. So I'd like to say, the world I'd like to see in 2100 is a world at peace, a world that has much more equity, much more fairness, a world in which there are not outcasts, people living far below the poverty line without enough resources to live with decent health care and with enough nutrition and food. I'd like to see a world in which population has been controlled. So many of the things that we see as either existing problems today or problems on the horizon, I'd like to think that the humans living between now and the end of this century will be wise enough to deal with those problems appropriately and create a world, a governance in the world capable of dealing with those problems.
Hi, I'm Kraus. I'm the Executive Director of the Campaign for UN Reform. My hope for the future is a world where the force of law has supplanted the law of force. A world where peoples in all countries can live together. A world where we have United Nations that can prevent war, that can protect human rights, that can promote international justice and help individuals provide for themselves a sustainable standard of living. It's my hope. That's our mission.
Hi, I'm Bill Luers. I'm president of the United Nations Association. I know you want to know about my view of the future. I wouldn't be in this business if I wasn't an optimist and believed that humanity can save this world from its self-destruction. My own sense is that eventually the United States will come to realize the vital importance of the United Nations. Begin to address the big issues of the world, such as the environment, global health, poverty, and disease, and somehow manage to commit its resources and its government to working with other countries. I think it's going to take a long time. It may take a couple of terrible tragedies, but the attention will come. And the work of the United Nations Association is to help that happen before there are great tragedies.
My name is Dr. Nelle Temple Brown, and I'm with the World Health Organization. And a vision for the future is a world in which everyone is healthy, that we have health for all and by all, and that all communities are participating in having health. And health is not just the absence of disease, it's actually a positive vision in which people are able to play full role in society with economic well-being and social well-being and physical well-being and spiritual well-being. And that's the vision of the World Health Organization, and that's my vision too.
Well, my name is Johan Galtung. I'm a Norwegian, and I'm the head of an organization called TRANSCEND. It's a bit difficult word. It means go beyond, go further. And it's an organization for solving conflict. And we are operating all over the world with some of the most tricky conflicts you can imagine. But I'll not go into that, because the question is, what's the world I would like to live in? Well, I'm sure you've heard about the United Nations. Started in 1945, incidentally on my birthday, the 24th of October, so I feel a particular link to it, although I'm 15 years older. And the effort that that organization makes is fantastic. It is to try to create a world where everybody can live in dignity and peace. That means that the needs that people have are met. To survive, not to be killed by violence. The need for food, clothes, shelter, medical attention, education. The need for freedom to pick your choices. For instance, of spouse whom you want to marry. For instance, of job, what you want to do, venue, where you want to live. And something tricky called identity. How you want to find meaning with your life. Some people it's in a religion, for others it's all of humanity, work for peace, for instance, which would be essential for me, and so on. And now you ask the question, what world would you like to live in? Well, that would be a world guided by a relatively strong United Nations, working together. That means both genders, male and female, all generations, the older, the younger, and those in between, the middle-aged. Of course, all races, black and brown, white, yellow, red, all classes, economically, militarily, politically, culturally, all nations in the world, all states, all regions, working together to promote this goal. I call that globalization. Now, there is a kind of fake globalization going on, which is run by men, and they're usually middle-aged. They don't have much patience for older people because they're not working, making money. Not much patience for children, they have to grow up and start making money. White people only, or mainly. Then, of course, added to that, upper class, especially for the rich, so that they can become richer, more wealthy. And added to that also very often for people who are of one particular nation, Christians, Anglo-Saxons, and from a handful of states in the West, maybe Japan. Now, that isn't good enough. We are talking about everybody. And the only organization in the world that can make everybody pull together is the United Nations. So, KAZU, if you ask me, what's the world I would like to live in? It's not a world with a UN dictatorship. It would be what they call soft governance. And you are governing much more by the positive things you do than by any kind of threat or invasion or attack or killing, things of that type. But that world is entirely feasible. I have seen it at work in 3 parts of the world: the Nordic community, the European community, the ASEAN in Southeast Asia, to a large extent also in the Indian Union, and in aspects of the United States, inside. If it can work all these places, it can work in the world as a whole.